Okay, so this is embarrassing. Look at this. Just look at it. Dead grass, overgrown weeds, cracked soil, and absolutely nothing going on. This is my backyard. Or at least it was my backyard. And every single morning I would look out my kitchen window at this mess and say to myself, someday I'll fix it someday. Someday. Well, someday finally came. And I gave myself exactly 3 days to turn this disaster into something I could actually be proud of. No contractor, no landscaping degree, no big fancy budget. Just a clear plan, the right plants, and honestly, a whole lot of stubbornness. And the result? I still can't believe I did this myself. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you are never going to look at your backyard the same way again. Chapter 1. Welcome to Yard and Beyond. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Yard and Beyond. I am so glad you are here. This channel is built for every single person who has ever stood in their backyard, looked around, and thought, this space could be so much more than this. If that is you, you are in exactly the right place. Today, I am walking you through my complete 3-day backyard transformation. The planning, the hard work, the moments where I almost quit, and the final result that honestly made me emotional. If you are new here, welcome to the family. Hit that subscribe button right now, because every single week we put out videos that will completely change how you see and use your outdoor space. Alright, let's get into it. Chapter 2. Why I finally decided to do something. Let me tell you the exact moment I decided enough was enough. My neighbor had just finished redoing their backyard. Clean edges, beautiful flowers, a gorgeous little seating corner with lights. I walked past it one afternoon and just stopped, stood there, stared. And then I looked back at my own yard and thought, why does my space look like I completely gave up? And the honest answer was I had. Not because I didn't care, but because I kept telling myself I needed more money, more time, more skill. I kept waiting for the perfect moment that never came. So one evening I sat down with a notebook and asked myself 3 simple questions. What do I hate about this yard right now? What do I want it to feel like? And what can I realistically do in 3 days with under $500? Those 3 questions gave me a plan. And that plan gave me everything you are about to see. Here is something I want you to do right now. Pause this video, grab a pen. Ask yourself those same 3 questions about your own space. Write down your answers, because this video is basically your blueprint. Done? Good. Now let us get to work. Chapter 3, Day 1, clearing the canvas I called Day 1 Demo Day. And I will warn you right now, it is not glamorous. There are no beautiful plants, no pretty results, and no satisfying before and after just yet. Day 1 is just pure, honest hard work. But it is the most important day of the entire process. The very first thing I did was walk my yard like a complete stranger. Not as someone who lives here and is used to the mess, but as someone seeing it for the very first time. And I made a list of everything that had to go. The weeds crawling up the fence line, gone. The patches of dead grass in the corner, gone. The pile of old cracked pots I had been meaning to sort out for 2 years, very much gone. I spent the first 3 hours just clearing everything out. When it comes to weeds, do not just cut them, pull them from the root. Use a garden fork, push it deep underneath, and yank the whole thing out. If you only cut weeds, they come back within 2 weeks, like they are personally offended that you touched them. After clearing, I used a flat spade to draw out the shape of where my garden bed was going to go along the back fence. I chose a soft, gently curved shape rather than a straight line. Here is a design tip I want you to remember. Curves feel natural and relaxed. Straight lines feel stiff and rigid. In a garden, nature almost never draws a straight line. Work with that. Once the shape was defined, I laid weed barrier fabric over the entire bed area. It is about $20 at any garden store, and it is one of the best investments you can make. It blocks future weed growth completely while still allowing water to drain through properly. I finished Day 1 exhausted, a little sunburned, and surrounded by bags of garden waste. But here is what surprised me. The yard already looked better, just from removing things. Sometimes transformation starts with subtraction, not addition. Remove what does not belong, and suddenly you can see what the space is really supposed to be. Now I want to ask you something. Are you the type of person who plans everything out before you start? Or do you figure it out as you go? Drop your answer in the comments. I genuinely want to know what kind of DIYer you are. Chapter 4, Day 2, where the magic begins. Day 2 is where everything changes. This is the day the yard stops looking like a construction site and starts looking like something you would actually want to spend time in. I had 3 clear goals for the planting: privacy along the back fence, texture and movement in the middle layer, and color at the very front of the bed to draw the eye in. For the back row, I planted arbor vitae. If you do not know this plant, let me introduce you to your new best friend. Arbor vitae grows tall, stays green all year round, and over time creates a thick, full natural wall that gives you complete privacy from the outside world. I planted 5 of them evenly spaced along the back fence. Low maintenance, beautiful, and incredibly effective. In front of the arbor vitae, I added ornamental grasses. What I love most about ornamental grass is that it moves. When the wind comes through, the whole middle of the bed comes alive. It gives the garden a sense of energy and life that no other plant quite matches. It honestly looks like the yard is breathing. At the very front of the bed, I planted lavender. Purple, fragrant, and absolutely beautiful. It is also incredibly hardy and easy to maintain. And as a bonus, bees and butterflies are completely drawn to it, so your garden becomes its own little living ecosystem. One planting tip I really want you to take away from this video: when you dig your planting hole, go twice as wide but the same depth as the root ball. Roots do not just grow downward, they spread outward. Give them the horizontal room they need, and your plants will establish faster and grow stronger. While the plants were settling into their first deep watering, I moved over to the seating area and began laying large flat patio stones over the gravel base I had prepared the day before. I set them slightly offset from each other rather than in a perfectly straight line, because in a garden, small imperfections are what make a space feel real, personal, and handmade rather than cold and factory-made. By the time the sun went down on day 2, I stood in the middle of my yard and just looked around slowly. And for the first time in years, I actually felt proud of this space. Have you ever worked on something, and the result just hit you differently than you expected? Like the effort suddenly made complete sense? Tell me about it in the comments. I love hearing those moments from you all. Chapter 5, Day 3. The details that change everything. Day 3 is my personal favorite. This is the finishing touches day, and I need you to hear this clearly. The details are everything. The details are what make someone walk into your yard and stop in their tracks. The details are what make people ask, "Who did this?" Do not rush Day 3. This is where good becomes extraordinary. I started the morning by spreading a thick, even layer of dark brown mulch across the entire garden bed. Mulch does 3 powerful things at once. It locks moisture into the soil so your plants stay hydrated longer. It creates a final barrier against any remaining weeds. And it frames every single plant beautifully, giving the whole bed a clean, finished, professional look. A bag of mulch costs around $8. The visual impact it creates is worth 10 times that. Next came the lighting. I placed solar-powered stake lights along the pathway leading to the seating area and hung warm Edison bulb string lights above the seating space itself. I want you to picture this for a second. Sitting outside in the evening, warm lights glowing softly above you, the smell of lavender in the air, the sound of leaves rustling in the breeze. That feeling right there is exactly why we do this. Outdoor lighting does not just illuminate a space. It transforms the entire mood and atmosphere of your yard after dark. The final touches were the personal ones. A simple wooden bench as the anchor of the seating area. 2 matching potted plants placed on either side to frame it. And a small tabletop water feature that adds a gentle, calming sound to the whole space. The sound of moving water in a garden is something truly special. It makes the space feel alive in a completely different way. Total spent on all the finishing touches, just under $80. Chapter 6, The Reveal. 3 days ago, this was a yard I avoided looking at. A space that made me feel behind, overwhelmed, and a little ashamed every time I glanced out the window. And now, it is the first place I come every single morning, coffee in hand, quiet. Just sitting in a space that I built with my own 2 hands and my own vision. The garden bed is full, lush, and private. The seating area is warm and inviting. The pathway connects everything with intention, and the whole yard finally feels like it belongs to someone who cares about it. Total cost of the entire transformation, $487. 3 days. No contractors, no landscaping experience. Just a plan, the right plants, and the decision to finally stop waiting for someday. Here is what I want you to take from this video more than anything else. You do not need a massive budget to do this. You do not need special skills. You do not need a free week, or the perfect weather, or the perfect plan. You just need to start. Because the yard you have been dreaming about is so much closer than you think. It is just a little beyond where you are standing right now. Alright, that is the full 3-day transformation of my backyard, start to finish. Now I want to hear from you. What is the one thing about your outdoor space that frustrates you the most right now? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single comment, and your answer might just inspire the next video on this channel. If this video gave you ideas, motivated you even a little bit, or just made you think differently about your yard, please hit the thumbs up button. It helps more people find Yard and Beyond, and that means more backyards getting transformed all over the world. And if you are not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button right now and join the Yard and Beyond family. Every week we are bringing you budget landscaping, DIY garden projects, backyard privacy builds, and full outdoor transformations just like this one. Until next time, get outside, get your hands in the dirt, and always remember, the best version of your yard is always just a little beyond where you started. See you in the next one.